Things are getting extremely rough for Nintendo. As we all know, we have had leaks on top of leaks recently. The Star Fox game was an accurate leak, as we now know that it has been officially announced, even though it was announced a little bit later than it was apparently supposed to. But we actually have more on that in today's video. But for Star Fox, and specifically this article mentions Ocarina of Time, the Switch 2 remake of that game, apparently these leaks are worst case scenario for Nintendo. And this comes from a former staff member, which is very, very interesting. And right before we hop into that, I would greatly appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel to help reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. Let's see if we could hit 30 subscribers during this video. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's get right to it. So apparently this was through their own podcast where they're just addressing all the leaks and stuff. While slightly later than anticipated, the Star Fox Switch 2 debut was accurate and was described as a classic experience for the franchise, which it is, even though it's a modern day kind of graphics style. Initially discussing whether Nintendo has deliberately moved the unveiling of Star Fox game to derail Nate the Hate's predicted reveal timing, Ellis said that it may be unlikely just because, the markets are changing right now with the timelines, like everything's all over the place. We were originally apparently supposed to be getting this game announced at the end of April, and then boom, they announced it literally like the first week of May. They just think it was a slight shift of their plans, like nothing because of the leaks maybe, but you never know. Nintendo is shifting tactics in a world where leaks are more prevalent. If you are Nintendo, you're obviously pulling out your hair. This is a worst case scenario. You're the company that banks on surprising people. The element of surprise is a major factor why announcements are impactful, and now that has been taken away, presumably for a while. Yang said it messes with their expectation management, that there's a very strong focus on that element. So now the element of surprise is basically gone for a lot of people because of these leaks. So now that the fans are expecting the Ocarina of Time remake around this Christmas time, which it's probably going to be around this holiday season, now means that Nintendo has a harder job to meet those expectations that are going to be built over these next coming months. Many fans are already forming opinions on how the game should be updated, how it should look. Inevitably, not all of these fans will have their expectations met. Yang suggesting that Nintendo may have to completely rethink the way that they share their information, Nintendo sharing their information, saying that the Shadow Drop Direct was a good idea. The Nintendo Today drops are fun surprises. They did that with the Splatoon Raiders trailer. The hype is very much dwindled because you already knew all the things going on, which honestly, I kind of disagree with that. I've been talking about like news and stuff with the gaming slash like Nintendo world for a while now, and I think a lot of these leaks actually give Nintendo more hype. Just with Legends ZA, we had all the Mega Evolutions leaked constant, like every single day we're getting like more information about like the Mega Evolutions, and I swear it really did hype up the game. And honestly, I feel like all these leaks with Ocarina of Time and stuff, it is gassing people up, because guess what, Nintendo aren't giving us any announcements. They have not been telling us many things recently, so genuinely like these leaks are kind of awesome for the fans, because Nintendo will still have their surprises. They always have surprises, like quite literally with the Star Fox Direct. They just announced that 10 minutes beforehand, and of course we knew Star Fox was happening, but that still was a surprise. We still don't know exactly what the game was going to be, so there are still surprises, and that Star Fox Direct I think went pretty well. It's going to be really interesting to see how Nintendo goes down the path of announcing things in the future, because how it used to be was Nintendo Directs. Of course, we always have had leaks and stuff, but Nintendo Directs were like the big major thing, the most important thing that everyone goes to for these big reveals, which it still is, because obviously Nintendo General Directs get like 2 million concurrent viewers. Like, it is huge, and a lot of these leaks obviously don't necessarily reach as many people. Many people don't really care about leaks. They don't want to see the leaks. So even if they do have all these games leaked, it's fine, because we don't know what the game looks like. We don't have any screenshots. So this article also basically just saying how Nintendo is gonna probably kind of go with that random element of surprise, where they're gonna randomly announce and drop things, which I've mentioned so many times recently about how Nintendo have been so weird the last couple of like months, even like year and a half, maybe even 2 years almost at this point, where they are just randomly dropping things at the most random times ever. Like a random Wednesday at 2 p.m. or something was the Star Fox announcement. I can't remember exactly what day it was, but it was literally just like 2 or 3 p.m. on a weekday. Like, so strange. So that's why I think that with Zelda Ocarina of Time specifically, obviously this is going to be their probably biggest game of the year as far as just Nintendo overall. Even though it's a remake, it's a complete from the ground up remake, like a complete new game based on the Ocarina of Time storyline. At least that's what we are assuming. I'm not 100% sure on that, because obviously I haven't seen any insider information. I just basically tell you guys what I know from doing the research and stuff, right? And it says right here, because of the Ocarina of Time remake around this Christmas, Nintendo is going to have a harder job meeting those expectations. So Obviously, first of all, Ocarina of Time is huge. Debatably one of the best Zelda games, you know, in the eyes of many people. So they already have that going on for them. Like, they already would have to just in general make this a good game. But because of these leaks, Nintendo are mad, bro. They are not happy right now because everyone already knows everything. And that's exactly why I still think they have surprises though, or they will just have some new surprises because, you know, in this modern day and age, with some things, not everything, with some things, I feel like it might be smart for them to just announce the existence of something. Like at this next Nintendo General Direct, be like at the very end, just announce, say, hey, we're working on Mario Galaxy 3. We don't have anything to show you guys yet, but we are working on it. That's the type of thing that I feel like they need to do, because I personally am okay if we don't get a trailer and the game is announced, because if it's that hype, I just want to know if they're working on it, because right now, these are the current games that we know of from Nintendo themselves. Like, they confirmed 100% coming out, and I would be happy sitting here just saying, you know what, at least we know Mario Galaxy 3 is on the way, or at least we know that a new Zelda game is going to be here very soon. You know what I mean? I know some people disagree with that, so definitely let me know what you think about that idea. The Ocarina of Time remake, though, it should be pretty good. The whole way that they are going to show off this game has to be different. I mean, they're probably just going to randomly announce a General Direct, or even just drop this trailer by itself as its own kind of thing, or they have been doing a lot of just directs and treehouses, so they could just do specifically an Ocarina of Time Direct, or just a Zelda Direct or something like that. I feel like that's also what they could do, because they've been doing a lot of that type of stuff recently, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they announce Ocarina of Time, because like I said, this is the biggest Nintendo game, debatably, coming out this year. I mean, you could say maybe like Pokeopia is one of the biggest games too, but Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake, definitely one of the biggest Nintendo games coming out this year, and they are not happy about this. Nintendo obviously do not like the leaks, so they're going to want to do something that's going to surprise us still, and that's why I'm kind of also hoping it's going to be a big reveal. Like, if it's a big trailer or a big direct, because that Star Fox Direct was like, what, 20 minutes long or something like that, 30 minutes? It was a pretty lengthy direct, so imagine how cool it'd be if we actually had the same exact thing. You know, on Twitter they announced, we're going to be dropping this Zelda Ocarina of Time Direct in 10 minutes, and then boom, 10 minutes later, we have a 35-minute live stream of everything about this game, what it looks like, new graphics, get an idea of like what's different about the game, because they are apparently going to be adding a lot of stuff. We have like patents and stuff, so a lot of side quests, maybe new characters, maybe just additional storylines and stuff like that. I'm really excited about that though, but it is very interesting to see from somebody that used to work with Nintendo to kind of get an idea of how they feel about this stuff, because obviously I feel like any gaming company would agree that they don't want this stuff to be out there, but I'm not sure how much this employee, or ex-employee I guess I should say, knows about the future of Nintendo, because they're making it sound like, yeah, this entire list is still pretty much accurate overall, because obviously the Star Fox game was accurate. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, every leak is a leak. It doesn't necessarily mean it's 100% going to come out, or it doesn't mean 100% is going to be exactly what it's said to be, if that makes sense. Like the Star Fox game, people thought it was going to be maybe like the classic kind of Star Fox style game, but no, it actually is like a modern day remake of that classic game. So technically it was still classic, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you're feeling about Ocarina of Time. What do you want to see in the game? And how do these leaks affect you? I personally enjoy the leaks, I'm not gonna lie, because the leaks are pretty surface level. It's basically just knowing the existence of a future game that should be happening. Now, when we're talking about leaks as far as like leaked photos and leaked gameplay goes, I'm not the biggest fan of that, because I'd actually rather see that officially announced, or just when I pick up the games myself. And of course, storyline, obviously I don't want the storyline to be leaked and stuff, but just knowing the existence of these games to me is really cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.